We are starting with the next chapter, which is projections of solids, under which we are going to study four types of solids, which are prism, pyramid, cylinder, and cone. For prism and cylinder, the question will be asked in the exam only for two stages, but for pyramid and cone, you have to draw three stages. So we'll start with the first solid, which is prism. The first question is, a square prism edge of base 35 mm and axis length 70 mm is resting on HP on one of its base edges, and the axis makes an angle 40 degree to the HP and parallel to VP. Draw its projection. This question was asked in December 15 for 6 marks. Now, since the one of the base edge is given in the HP, so for first stage my assumption will be the entire base is lying in the HP. So if base is lying in the HP, that can be seen as a true shape in the top view. So I'll start with the top view, which will be a square of size 35 mm. So first I have to draw a reference line, which is XY line. Obviously top view will be drawn below XY. So for top view, the square size is 35 mm, but we need more space above XY because axis length is given as 70 mm, which can be seen in the front view, that means above XY. So we need more space above XY. So first draw the XY line. Now starting with the first stage, I'll first draw base, which is a square of 35 mm size. So here there are two possibilities of drawing the base. One is square with two edges parallel or two edges perpendicular to the XY line, and other possibility is kite shape. But here one of the base edge is given in the HP, so I have to keep one edge of the base on the right hand side. Now I'll complete the square. Again producing up to 35 mm. So this should be 35 mm. As the base is seen in top view as a true shape, I have to give the notation for each corner. So top view notation will be without dash. I start numbering from here. I can use letters or alphabets or digits 1, 2, 3, 4. But when I'm seeing from top, at this corner, vertical edges, two corners are getting coinciding. So that's why along with one, I'll give one more notation, A, B, C, D. Means I can see one top base and one bottom base. Those are seen as a single square. So if you are assuming A, B, C, D as top base and 1, 2, 3, 4 as bottom base, then accordingly we will draw the front view. So front view will be seen as a rectangle of base 35 mm and height will be same as the axis length, which is 70 mm. So I'll just produce this, and since the base is kept on the HP, so my front view will start from XY line. So I need to just project it upwards. Also for marking the axis, I need to mark the midpoint of the base, which is a square, which can be marked by joining diagonals. So this will give me the midpoint of the square base. So from that I'll project the axis in front view. The axis should be a dotted line, long dash, short dash, which is the convention for showing axis center line. Now I have to mark the axis length of 70 mm in front view. Means the front view will be seen as a rectangle of size 70 and 35. And the entire rectangle will be a dark. So again, I need to give the notations in top view, front view also. Since we have decided ABCD is the top base and 1, 2, 3, 4 is the bottom base. But again here 1 and 4 will coincide in front view, so I'll denote 1 dash 4 dash and here 2 dash 3 dash. Similarly in top view, top base I'll get A dash D dash as a single point and B dash C dash again as a single point. Now this completes the first stage. Here two vertical edges are coinciding, also here two vertical edges are coinciding. That's why I am getting two notations at one corner. Now we'll move to the next stage. It's resting on HP on one of its base edges, so it is satisfied here in the first stage, and the axis makes an angle 40 degree with the HP. So in the next stage I have to rotate this front view such that this axis will make an angle of 40 degree with the HP, because this 40 degree is the angle made by the axis with HP. That will be the true inclination theta made by the XY made with the XY line. So let us denote this axis as O dash O dash. So next step is to rotate this axis at 45 degree, but it is directly not possible to rotate because I need to keep this edge of the base, which is 2, 3 in the HP. Okay, so if the axis is making angle 40 degree with the HP, then obviously the base will make an angle of 90 minus 40. That means since axis is perpendicular to the base edge, and if axis is making an angle of 40 degree, so obviously base edge will make the base will make an angle of 50, that is 90 minus 40. So I'll start with this base, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 dash 2 dash 3 dash 4 dash, which is the bottom base appearing as a line in front view. So I'll start with this line because I have to keep this line, this base edge, which is 2 dash 3 dash on the HP. That means this corner should remain on XY line, but this axis should make an angle of 40 degree. So I'll just tilt the base, this line 1 dash to 2 dash at an angle of 50 degree, such that axis will be automatically at get inclined at 40 degrees. So I'll locate this point 2 dash 3 dash here because I need to keep it in HP. That means on the XY only. Now I'll measure an angle of 50 degree because the relation between the angle, the axis and base, they are perpendicular to each other. So that means if axis is making an angle of 40 degree with the HP, so base will make an angle of 50 degree. So for base I am marking angle of 50 degree, and that along that inclination of 50 degree I'll measure this base length. So first I am marking that 50 degree inclination. Now I'll take the distance of base in the compass and mark that base on that 50-degree line. So this point will be 1 dash 4 dash. Also I need to mark the O dash, which is the midpoint of this base. So I'll get O dash here. Now if I draw a perpendicular to this base at O dash, obviously I'll get the axis inclined at 40 degree. So now from O dash I'll mark a perpendicular. So now if I draw this perpendicular, again axis is long dash, short dash and light lines. I need to produce is up to 70 mm because axis length is given as 70 mm. Okay. Again, I'll draw parallel lines because these two lines are parallel to axis. Only the entire front view is getting tilted, but those parallel lines will remain parallel to each other. So I'll produce those parallel lines, which are the vertical edges of that square prism. Again, I need to measure that 70 mm, which is already marked for axis. So I'll complete the front view. Okay. So I need to make that part dark again. So seeing visibility from the first stage, I need to carry forward in second stage. Again, I need to repeat the notations. So 1 dash 4 dash, corresponding to that I have E dash, D dash, and 2 dash 3 dash will be B dash, C dash. Okay. Now from this front view, I need to draw final top view. So for that, I need to project all the corners in front view vertically downwards. These projectors should be light lines. From each corner I need to project. This is O dash, then B dash and C dash. Okay. Now similarly, from the first stage, from the top view, I'll project horizontally. So also I'll project the center, which will mark the axis in final view. Okay. Now I need to locate each corner separately. So I'll start with 1 dash from front view and I'll look for projector from 1 in top view. So 1 and 1 dash, so I'll get 1 in top view here. Then again I'm having same 4 dash as the same projector, so I'll look for 4 in top view again, so I'll get 4 here. Okay. Then O dash and this will be O, so O dash and O will again give me O. Here again as top center and bottom center will coincide, so I'll name it as OO. Then 2 dash and 3 dash, so I'll need to look for 3 and 2, so 3 will be here and 2 will be here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 if I join, I'll get the bottom base. Similarly, the top base ABCD can be marked from here. So from A I'm getting this projector. Similarly, from top view I'm getting this projector from A. So this will give me point A. Similarly, on the same projector I am having D dash, so I'll look for D in top view, so I'll get point here D. Similarly, O dash and O, so I'll get O here. Similarly B and C. Now observer, we are drawing the final top view. So observer will look from top. For the observer, whatever part lying above this line and above this line will be visible to him completely. But part below this and below this line is not visible to the observer. So from here I can see that the entire top base ABCD is visible to the observer. So I can make this base ABCD as dark because it is completely visible to the observer. Remember, visibility, marking of dark and light lines is very important because it carries some mark. So I can see the entire top base, but for the observer the bottom base is not visible. But the rule says if some of the lines of that bottom base lies on the boundary, then boundary should be dark. For entire top view, whatever is lying on the boundary, that should be made dark. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, if you see 3, 4, the edges 3, 4, 1, 4 and 1, 2 are lying on the boundary. So I'll make them dark. So I'll join 1 to 4, then 1 to 2 and 4 to 3, 3, 4. But you can see the edge, that corner 2 dash 3 dash is farthest from the observer, which is looking from top. So that edge 2, 3 will not be visible to the observer. So I'll make it dotted, but it should be dark and dotted. Okay. Now after completing for bases 1, 2, 3, 4 and ABCD, now I'll move to the vertical edges, which are 1A, 2B, then 3C and 4D. So if I see 1A and 4D are nearest to the observer, so they will be dark. So I'll mark 1A, out of which 1, 2 is already coinciding with 1A some part. So I'll make the remaining part dark. Similarly 4D, and obviously it is understood that those vertical edges are also lying on the boundary, so I should make them dark. Okay. Now I'll look for the remaining edges, which are 2B and 3C. So if you see 2B has already been marked dark, okay, and 3C is also made dark. Okay. Now I'll mark the axis by long dash short dash OO, and it should be a light line. Okay. Now this completes the solution. Now we have to show some dimensions and angles. As we know, this square base is of 35 mm size. So I'll show the dimension for that. Then I'll show the axis height. So it is 35 mm, and the axis height is 70. So I'll show it here. Now, in addition to this, I'll show this angle 40 degree. So I'll just extend this axis to show that angle. So I'll show theta as 40 degree here. Now, but remember, we first draw this inclination, which is 50 degree, because axis is making 40 degrees. So obviously base which is perpendicular to the axis will make 90 minus 40. So this angle we have marked as 50. Then obviously after dropping the perpendicular, I'll get 40. If you want to check, we can verify whether I am getting it as 40 or not. you can see you are getting it as 40. Okay, so this completes your solution. Again check for the visibility, dark and dotted lines. Okay,